I'm Adam.
We're the couple behind in the Great Wide. Woo!
We're the couple behind in the Great Wide.
There it is. Yeah. We just got back from a 27-day train trip across the U.S., which is kind of crazy because it really didn't feel like it was a month long.
No.
But we wanted to do a quick recap about our trip and where we went and how we got there, and answer a couple of questions that everybody has been asking us since we got back and while we were still on the trip too. So
the trip started from LA. We went up to Emeryville, which is just outside of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. We took the Coast Starlight
up there
to get there.
We were only overnight, essentially a 12-hour layover, and then we took the first part of the California Zephyr from Emeryville to Denver.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to be the most scenic train ride in the U.S., and it did not disappoint.
No, it did not. It was very good. Spent some time in Denver, then we got back on to the California Zephyr and took it the rest of the way to Chicago, which is its final stop.
And that was on the way to Denver was our first time spending a night on the train.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was a little more than about a day to go from Emeryville to Denver. I forgot that technically we were in Salt Lake City, but it was like 3 a.m. and nobody was awake.
Yeah. We saw very little of Utah, but it was really beautiful, the part that we did see. Because we woke up and it was sunrise and it was just like rock formations, and that was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we went to Chicago from Denver on the rest of the California Zephyr. Finished up that whole route. And then we were only in Chicago for a couple hours.
Yeah, it was just a layover, really.
And then we ended up taking the Capital Limited. We took we tried as hard as we could to do the complete legs of the start and stops of the trips, and most of them we did. The Chicago to Pittsburgh was the Capital Limited, and it eventually, after it dropped us off in Pittsburgh, went on to D.C., which we went to eventually, just not
on that train.
On that train.
Yeah. So we stopped in Pittsburgh.
Spent some time in Pittsburgh, hung out with some great friends. It was a lot of fun. Pittsburgh was amazing. And then we went from Pittsburgh to New York. That was on the Pennsylvanian.
That one was the Pennsylvania.
That was, because it goes all the way through Pennsylvania. And then we spent some time in New York, where it rained.
We did get a little bit of rain.
Just when we arrived.
That first night.
Just enough to get wet.
Just enough to, be like,
Literally,
I don't need my umbrella. And then you get where you're going and you're soaked.
It was very wet. But it was beautiful. And the place we stayed in New York was amazing. We stayed in the East Village. It was fantastic.
It was a great location.
From there, we went to D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Took the Northeast Regional, which is a very commonly used train.
Commuter train.
No sleeper cars or anything on that one. It was only 4 hours down to D.C. D.C. was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of monuments, a lot of history, a lot of American history.
It's a very interesting city, D.C.
Went to some amazing restaurants there. A friend of ours turned us on to a few things. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. From DC, we took that up the coast to Boston. That was also the Northeast Regional.
Yeah, was from end to end on the Northeast.
By far regional. The most harrowing trip we took, but we'll get into that later. And then we spent time in Boston, not a lot, but because we were pretty late, we couldn't spend a lot of time in Boston. We ended up going the next day to Salem, where we spent the day. And Salem was great. And then back down to Boston, we ended up spending that last night in Boston, and then took a train to Chicago.
Yeah, the Lakeshore Limited.
Is Lakeshore Limited, which follows along
Lake Erie.
Lake Erie.
Although it was nighttime when we went by Lake Erie, so we didn't get to see the lake. So that was
as far as we're told, there's a lake there. I didn't see it, so it might not be there. Chicago, we went and spent some time with my family in Rockford. Took a bus to Rockford. Spent about a day and a half there. Hung out with my parents and my brother. And then we went back to Chicago and then took the longest leg of the entire trip, the Empire Builder, all the way to Seattle, up through Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington. That was 46 hours.
Yeah, that was.
You don't know.
It was a lot.
You don't know who you are as a human being until you've spent a second night on the train.
Well, technically, we did that when we were going from Denver to Pittsburgh too.
It was still
we had
new.
to stop in Chicago, so we switched trains.
Yeah, it's still there was enough
but
new, but once you're heading into that second sunset,
that second night is a little
So then we spent some time in Seattle, and Seattle was great. Had so much fun in Seattle.
Yeah,
and then,
Seattle was amazing.
And then went down, took the Coast Starlight back
the
down
full
to LA,
length that
all
time.
the way down the coast. 32 hours, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 30-something hours. It was
long.
another long overnight trip, but
we were able to roll into LA just as the sun was setting, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Okay.
So we started on the Coast Starlight and we ended on the Coast Starlight. So
we saw both,
that was kind of neat.
Both oceans, both coasts.
Yeah.
We spent time at each. Took 27 days.
Yeah. It was a long time. So the number one question that I think, maybe not the number one, but one of the top questions that people have been asking us is, did we have a sleeper car for this?
The answer is no.
No, we did not.
They do not allow you to upgrade. And this rolls into the second question a lot of people ask. How did we do this?
Yeah, how did we afford it? Yeah.
Amtrak, if you were to piecemeal all of them, it'd be really expensive. But Amtrak does a 30-day rail pass.
Called the USA Rail Pass.
USA Rail Pass. It allows you to do 10 legs over 30 days. We decided to maximize and use every single leg. I don't think everybody does.
I think most people don't.
I would
the
assume
people
not,
that we talked
because
to on the train, there were other people who also were using the USA Rail Passes that we ran into on the trains. But most of them were doing 2 or maybe 3 legs, and we were like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, no, we're doing
all 10.
And you can't spend more than a couple days or 3 maybe in any place.
When you're doing that. Well, it depends. If you stayed on the East Coast and did all that, then maybe,
but
because they're a lot shorter over there.
If you want to see the whole country, like we did, which granted we didn't even see the whole country, we didn't see the South at all, which we had planned originally, but then it just didn't work out with the timing and the friends we were seeing in Denver and Pittsburgh and New York. But they had a sale on that USA Rail Pass, and it was only $300. So pay attention to those sales.
Yeah.
Because it was amazing. I mean, I think it would have cost us well over $1,000, if not more, just for Coach to do all the stuff that we did.
Oh yeah. Easily.
$1,000.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to see the whole country.
Yeah. The passes are usually $500 a piece, I believe, though.
But even then, still a good value.
Yeah, definitely still a good deal. But the thing with that is that, I called and asked Amtrak, they said that you cannot upgrade to a sleeper car. It is coach only.
No.
Because I was like, can we pay the difference to upgrade to a sleeper car on certain legs, and they were like, no. So
because
less
sleeper
money for
cars,
you, Amtrak.
Sleeper cars are 5 to 10 times the amount of a Coach ticket.
They're way more expensive.
And granted, and we'll talk about this in a future video, but you get a lot more. You get meals. You get essentially somebody to wait on you hand and foot. It's kind of nice. Yeah. But it's also expensive. Yeah. But it's fine. The Coach class is not bad. The seats recline back really far.
Really far.
If my hands were seats, this would be the seats. They recline back. So, so it's not bad, and they're very wide. It's almost like a business class on
an airplane.
So.
Yeah, you have plenty of leg room, and I'm 5'7". I don't consider myself to be a short person by any means, but I could extend my legs all the way out and then touch the seat in front of me, kind of thing.
And there's other tips too. We could have slept in separate separate aisles and gotten away with it because there just weren't a lot of people overnight.
Yeah, since the seats weren't all occupied overnight.
Yeah. So there's tricks, and there will also be another video.
So many videos.
What else do people ask us?
What was our favorite thing that we did? Slash, what was our favorite place?
What was your favorite thing / place?
Well, I know what my favorite thing
okay.
was. Do you know? But I don't want to like
My
influence
favorite
your
thing?
answer. Yeah, our favorite activity that we did. I know what my favorite was.
Okay,
but
we'll
I don't
go.
want to.
You go
No, I
first.
don't want to influence yours.
Well, I guess my favorite activity,
Yeah.
which is also my favorite place, I guess, unless you mean city. I really like the Baranoff Museum. It was really fun. It was the place that in Pittsburgh. It was the
Pittsburgh,
place that I would build if I had the money. And the guy did, and it was amazing. It was so weird and out of the way and cool. And he had very strange hobbies. Not in a super weird way, but just like he collected weird things.
It was a super interesting, probably the most unique place that we went on the trip.
That's probably why I liked it the most. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was definitely unique. My favorite activity or thing that we did was the Space Needle in Seattle. It was incredible.
100%. If you've never been to Seattle, go just for the Space Needle.
It's
I
amazing.
cannot stress that enough. It is an incredible experience. It is magnificent. It is incredible. It's really great.
Yeah, it was really
100%
cool.
once in a lifetime thing of being able to be in this piece of history that's still there. And
Hopefully not
very
once in a
amazing.
lifetime.
Well, no,
But
but you know, how often do you go to Seattle? Hopefully more than once, because they have really good food there too. But
yeah, but that's another video.
was there anything else? What was your favorite city?
Okay, so I am like having a hard time figuring out my favorite city that we went to.
Okay.
But the Space Needle in Seattle, like, definitely, I feel like is like influencing my decision to say Seattle. But Seattle had a lot of other really great stuff too. It wasn't just the Space Needle, but also like Pittsburgh was really amazing. And like, cause we had no idea what to expect.
No.
Going into it.
Never high on my list of places I need to visit, and Pittsburgh has now become one of my favorite cities in the country. Like, it is incredible. A lot of that has to do with our hosts. They were amazing. Shout out to Matt and Tammy. You guys were awesome. But like, it is a great town. It's a fun town. And it's very working class, and it's very it has so many hidden things that you don't expect, and it was really cool. I really like Pittsburgh.
Oh, our last question was, would you do it again?
Well, I wouldn't say no, but I don't know if I'd say yes either.
That's fair.
It was a lot to do in 27 days.
Yeah.
You were constantly moving. That's part of the reason that it felt like it went so fast, is because we never spent more than 3 days in one place.
It was and we lost track of time hardcore.
Oh yeah. That was not even a thing. So it was. I mean, I would be willing. Definitely Amtrak again. I like the train, and definitely some legs were better than others, and some routes were better than others. But like, my thing is that I would like to do it again with a destination in mind. Like, we were talking about going to New Orleans, so it's like it'd be great to take the train out to New Orleans, because it takes a couple days, be in New Orleans for a week, and then come back. Or fly back, which is also something that is a possibility.
I think a lot of people did that with the USA rail passes too.
Yeah.
I think they went across the country one way and then ended up flying back.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty common.
It's once you get past the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, where the routes become much less, and you have about 4 options to get back to the West Coast, and it takes a long time.
There's literally 4.
It takes a long time, so it's like it makes sense if you take it from California or the West Coast out to the east, then you would fly back, because that would definitely maximize more, but you're paying out more money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
I mean, yes and no also, because I really enjoyed the more slow travel and being able to really see a lot of the countryside. But also, some of that was not worth spending an entire day looking at, like, the plains. It's just not my thing.
There's a lot of
flatlands in this country, guys.
A lot of the
a lot.
Nebraska,
And like
Iowa,
and a lot,
Kansas,
and a lot more than I was expecting in the north, honestly.
Yeah, North
but,
Dakota, Montana.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot
we'll get to that, but
flat and boring.
yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But
All right.
I mean, I liked traveling by train, but I don't know that I would want to do so many of them back to back to back to back to back again. It was cool to do.
I definitely want to try the sleeper or the roulette at some point.
Yeah.
Like that is definitely something that and maybe that's what this whole rail pass is about with Amtrak. Maybe they're trying to get you to get used to, train travel, and then
they suck you in for the bigger price tags on the sleeper cars. Because that's the other big thing. Like, if we had a sleeper car and, like, got all the meals and, like, had a private space to keep our stuff where we didn't have to worry about it when we went to the other, like, observation cars and stuff. Like, if we had that, then I would be, like, all about more train travel all the time. But also, I think that the prices are a little too high for what they're asking for that. But we'll get into all of that more in detail later. But also, let us know what you guys want to hear about first. Because we did so much stuff on this trip. So much stuff. We went to so many places, and we have so much to talk about. So let us know what you want to hear about first. What you're most excited about.
All right, we're gonna go because we've got to take care of some pumpkins.
Pumpkins! I love my pumpkins.
We will see you very soon.